Hello world, from whichever time zone you're catching me from, my name is MD90. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification to all so that you do not miss the uploads that come up. And the easiest way for you to navigate the channel is to head to the playlist. You'll find videos curated for you based on your interest. So if you're interested in the Kutika podcast, you'll find a playlist for that. For news and trends, there's a playlist for that. Exclusive with MD90, a bunch of playlists that are created based on your interest. So the easiest way to navigate the channel is head straight to the playlist and you'll find what you're here for. Consider becoming a member of the channel. Right next to the subscribe button is a join button. You click on the join button so that you can become a member of the channel. You support the team on the production and a number of things that we're doing here, and we appreciate that.
Well, the Republican President Hakainde Hichilema, has been very busy this week. He addressed the nation, and part of the extracts from the speeches that he's been given this week was covered by the news diggers. So this is where the president was instructing. He was saying, work quietly. Hakainde Hichilema tells the Police and Corruption Commission, Drug Enforcement Commission, Financial Intelligence Court, you are scaring investors. So the president was simply telling the law enforcement agencies to say, work in silence, your alarming statements. So the way you're working is scaring investors. What is the NGOCC asks Republican Vice President Ntaina Lubango to retract a statement which she made in Parliament where she was saying, for the way she was saying there was payment for women falling pregnant. A certain section of society has debated to say that's going to encourage a lot of teenage pregnancies and girls will be misinformed. So they demanded that the Republican Vice President retracts that statement. And then Edgar Lungu responded to Hakainde Hichilema's headline. So he posted this just almost just a couple of hours ago. This is the response that Edgar Lungu to Hakainde Hichilema's statement to the law enforcement agencies where he was saying they should work in silence. And Edgar Chagalungu puts up an article and he says, fellow citizens, both home and abroad, today I woke up to a screaming headline in Zambia that my brother, President Hakainde Hichilema, has directed the law enforcement agencies to work quietly because publicizing cases damages investor confidence. Let me expand the article. Damages investor confidence. It goes further to say, this grabbed my attention because President Hakainde Hichilema wants law enforcement agencies to be mute and trash the principle of transparency and accountability. This is very disturbing and worrisome because it undermines the tenets of good governance and political integrity. Under Article 8 of our Republican Constitution, during my administration, we allowed law enforcement agencies and Financial Intelligence Center, commonly known as FIC, to publicize cases they were working on. Our reasoning was simple. We believed our public had the right to know how their resources were being utilized or abused in order to combat corruption. This is the standard practice in all functional elective democracies across the world. Edgar Lungu goes further to say, under my leadership, transparency with information from law enforcement agency and FIC is what helped my brother. Is what helped my brother as an opposition leader. Then civil society organizations and all Zambians to routinely criticize my administration. We do not mind the criticism because it allowed us to make amends where necessary in the spirit of political integrity, accountability, and credible governance. Today, it is shocking that President Hichilema is concerned about investor confidence once law enforcement agencies and Financial Intelligence Center to sweep information from their investigation under the carpet. I am now wondering whether or not my brother cared about investor confidence back then, or he was just more interested in looking for what could work against us and win votes for political power. He asks the question there. That's Edgar Lungu. The truth, however, is that my brother is not worried about the investor confidence. It is ever rising cases of corruption and suspicious transaction in his administration under his watch that he is worried about and wants to conceal that information there. Therefore, it is his new approach of silencing law enforcement agencies and the Financial Intelligence Center by stopping investigation into high-profile cases that are ongoing. That is ongoing to worrisome investor confidence, and that is the international community, which he desperately needs. Edgar Lungu was further to say. So in the interest of transparency and accountability, I challenge my brother, President Hichilema, to explain to the Zambians what he has done about the $3 billion illicit outflow of funds reported by the Financial Intelligence Center just in 2024. This is a lot of money for the president to remain mute about. We only got to know about it, about these illicit funds, after the United States Ambassador to Zambia, His Excellency Michael Gonzalez, raised a red flag. So he says that $3 billion was only known after the US ambassador raised the red flag. He goes further to say, by the way, we have not forgotten that in line with President Hichilema's directives, law enforcement agencies, Anti-Corruption Commission, SEC, has confirmed investigations but refused to name a number of ministers and other high-profile individuals under probe in order to protect their integrity during the course of the investigation. He goes further to say, I recall during my time in office, my brother was in the forefront, not only calling for the publication of such investigations, but also demanded that such ministers under probe be suspended or even fired. He goes further to say, writing to President Hakainde Hichilema. Interestingly, today, the same brother of mine, referring to President Hakainde Hichilema, is saying ministers being investigated by the Anti-Corruption Commission and other law enforcement agencies must not be named because they have integrity to protect, and also his administration is secure as a way of his administration to secure investor confidence. These ministers have continued to work without any suspension, without any suspending them. Some of them are even some of them even cleared them of the corruption allegation. Remember the calendar, the diary carrying minister is referring to the former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Edgar Lungu there. In conclusion, he says, I would like to urge President Hichilema to strengthen the law enforcement agencies and the Financial Intelligence Center by making them more transparent, accountable, and responsive to the Zambian people, rather than silencing them. The president must support law enforcement agencies, expose freely, report corruption cases and suspicious transactions in the agriculture, mining, energy, defense, education, and health sectors, among others. This is what will rebuild the winning investor confidence in Zambia, not the hush approach on the law enforcement agency and the Financial Intelligence Center. Dr. Edgar Lungu, 60th President of the Republic of Zambia, PF President, and Tonse Alliance Chairman. He signs it off. That's a letter from Edgar Lungu to the sitting President Hakainde Hichilema. And then also, as you may remember, former First Lady just landed in the country, should have been 3 days ago or less. People have been speculating where Edgar Lungu is receiving his medical attention from. There are rumors that he was in South Africa, and then others were saying he was in the United States. And then it was just been confirmed by the First Lady to say, because she came back in the country because she's got a number of court cases. And in one of those cases, that's why she had to establish this. So as reported by Kalemba, it says, Esther Lungu was in South Africa, not America, for husband's health, not asylum. So she says she did not go to seek asylum in the United States, but she was in South Africa, attending to the president there, the former president, Edgar Lungu. So former First Lady's lawyer, Charles Changano, has refuted the claims on going around on social media that her client, Esther Lungu, traveled to the United States of America for asylum, pretty much like seeking asylum in the US. But no, she was just attending to her husband, and she only came back to the country to meet the court obligations there. And then Munir Zulu put up these statistics, credit Transparency International Zambia. So the best and worst performing constituencies in spending constituency development funds on projects. So he lists, say, Lumezi is listed as number one for spending 100% of the constituency development funds on the projects that they had, followed by Kasanengwa, Chongwe, Chipangari, Luangeni, Malambo, Monza Central, Fera, Nimba, and Chipata Central. Those are like the best performing. And then the west is Kabushi, Malole, and Sinazongwe, Serenje Central, Chinsari, Kabwe Central, Mbala, Sorezi Central, Kabwata, and Dudumwezi. In terms of constituency spending there, that is Munir Zulu, Independent Member of Parliament for Lumezi, the one that's on the top there. And then, as you may be aware, President Hakainde was addressing the nation just a couple of hours ago. And then Munir Zulu and should be Jean Chisenga walked out of Parliament as the president was addressing the nation. So he says, I went to watch Why Me. Some people have inquired why I walked out of Parliament earlier today. Well, I do not pretend, and I am not a hypocrite. At the same time, I do not like to waste time on non-productive, empty talks. For example, if you say you hate corruption, your words must match your action. You cannot, on one hand, claim you loathe corruption. On another hand, you are directing law enforcement agencies to be selective when investigating corruption in and under your leadership, on the premise that if such is brought into the public, then investors would lose confidence in you. It is at this point that I lost interest in the empty talk and went to watch and listen to a freedom fighter, Why Me, on his TikTok. I remain Munir Zulu. So he explains that's why he walked out of Parliament, because President Hakainde was talking about the fight against corruption when the alleged corruption within his cabinet is not being tackled. And then obviously in the mass newspaper, they say, don't behave like porcupines. They always want to be defensive. That's Harry Kalaba there, a statement attributed to him. And then obviously the headline of Edgar Lungu's letter to President Hakainde Hichilema, he says, explain the $3 billion Financial Intelligence Center red flag. ECO urges Hakainde Hichilema. So that's the news, ladies and gentlemen. Have a beautiful weekend.